It's Nicole, the psychic mom. Thanks for joining me this evening. I am excited to talk a little bit. I'm going to do some callers, but I first want to talk a little bit about ambition. This is coming up for me a lot recently, just considering things that I have going on. Personally, with what I do, and also for my son who's getting ready to go to college, and just all the life transitions that are happening with summer coming, so many things. And ambition, I was just sitting and thinking about how important it is for us to have ambitions and to be ambitious. A lot of women that I talk to, my age and even younger and older, have expressed how they've kind of, gotten into a rut and feel like they're a little stuck. And I feel like this is purposeful, at this time in our lives and at different stages in our lives to push us outside of our normal box of routines that we get into. But a lot of us don't set ambitions for ourselves. And, ambitions are goals or things that we want to do or achieve that take a little bit more work and intention than other things that we want to do. So I'm curious, and I challenge you to sit down and really think about and list what your ambitions are. I think it's really important. They give us an opportunity to have experiences that will either reward us in a way where we gain some self confidence and value in what we do, which is really important for our mental well being and happiness. But if things don't turn out the way that we hope they will, it also gives us an opportunity for growth and learning, why, what happened, and learning how to deal with disappointments and what comes next, those sorts of things. And it's really important. And I feel like I'm finding that a lot of people aren't setting ambitions and goals for themselves like they used to, and also not sharing that this with their children. I fall into that category myself. I wish I didn't, but I'll say it. My kids are spoiled, and they get to do so many things that I just lay out in front of them and give to them. We're going to go do this and we're going to do that. That often I feel like they don't even set ambitions and goals for themselves because they are being given those opportunities. And when it doesn't work out for themselves, I'm guilty of sometimes, providing a little too much comfort and support in that and not letting them really feel their own emotions about it. So, yeah, I want to encourage everyone to think about this a little bit. Not that I want to be a downer. I'm hoping this doesn't sound like a negative, because I think it's definitely a positive. I'll share some of my personal ambitions. Let's see. I would like to have a space outside of my home where I do my work. I think that would be really cool. Of course, this could change. Maybe I won't. Ambitions and goals are loose. You get to change them as you want to. But right now, I think that's one of mine. I also definitely want to spend more time with my children individually. Now, this might not sound like a goal to you, but it definitely is to me, because it's incredibly difficult to find the time to spend with my children alone, just them and me, since I have four and our schedules are all crazy all over the place. So that's another one of mine. What else? I think I know this. Oh, yeah. And then just to find the time to dedicate to my own self-discovery of this whole spiritual journey that I'm on with what I do. I want to continue to learn and grow. And to be able to do that, I need to take classes and go on retreats and, go take courses at different places and just stay motivated to do that and to keep growing, because it can sometimes get tiresome energetically, especially if I'm not taking care of myself, because doing this work can be really draining. And when I'm not taking good care of myself, it can be really tiresome and difficult. And then when that happens, your ambition drops, and it can get into a cycle that's not where you want to go. So I have that goal of keeping myself to a level of constantly exploring and trying to learn more and do more and experience different aspects of this that I haven't already. So, most of you know, I'm a mental medium, and I do my mediumship through mental faculties, my clairsenses. But there are other types of mediums that do physical mediumship, which includes trance mediumship. I mean, there's a lot of other avenues that I haven't even explored that I want to explore so that I can, come up with my own opinion about them either way. What do I think about this? Do I think this is something for me? Do I think this is something I'm meant to follow? Because what I've learned is, to me, it sounds, some of the things that I've learned, astral projection seems like I can't even wrap my mind around what some people say happens to them in that experience. And I've never experienced that. And I could take the route of saying, I've tried this and it didn't work, so it must not be true. But I know very well from my own personal experience that it might just not be an experience that I'm meant to have. It very well could be very true. People's, conscious, subconsciousness, and what that is, astral projecting, is your subconscious awareness moves out of your body while you're in a different state of awareness and can go other places and experience other things. And this is very different from dreaming, from what I understand. And you're very aware and some people have control of what's happening in these experiences and can go to specific places. So imagine this, right? You are wanting to go to Paris and see the Eiffel Tower, but you can't because you can't afford a plane ticket to get there. Well, there are people who say, and because I can't, it's never happened to me, I can't say it's not true, but that they can get into a different state of awareness and actually project their consciousness to that location and see the Eiffel Tower. And other people might define this too as remote viewing, which is a little different. I don't know the specifics, or I should say the differences between the two, but there are definitely similarities. But anyway, where was I going with this thought? I just want to encourage everyone to continue to step outside of your regular routines and keep exploring either things that are just of interest to you, things that related to your jobs, to your families. And I think that giving us those opportunities to achieve something, either in a positive or negative way, can be really valuable and can really help our mental states of health to stay positive and growing and not become stagnant. So that's my thoughts for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You want to, come on and comment under the video or whatever. I would appreciate that. But let's get to our first caller. I have Marissa from California. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Good. What can I help you with tonight?
Well, it's interesting that's your what you were talking about today. I guess I'm kind of in this stuck state where I know, like I know I have like more abilities and I'm able to connect with and stuff, but there's so much going on, around me that it's hard for me to focus. But I guess I'm just more. I've had a lot of people that come around me that have had loved ones that have passed, and I feel like. And so I kind of try to help them because they're people I grew up with and things like that. But I feel like I've had a lot of people trying to maybe like connect, and I just don't know really how to do it. But I've kind of gotten to this place of like overwhelmingly, it's just overload, I guess, and it's hard for me to, you know,
Yeah,
differentiate
no, I find
what's
it
mine and what's
exciting.
not mine, and
Right. Well,
on top of all
I
of other life stuff going on. So
sure. Yeah, I'd love to share some of my personal experiences and what my advice to you would be. So, from what I hear you're saying is that there are a lot of spirits coming through to you of people that you know that have passed already. I mean, that are in the living of people you know. Is this correct?
yeah, so it's weird. It'll be like not that they come to me directly, but like I've had a friend that he's brought his cousin over and we'll hang out a little bit, and then slowly we started to realize his uncle is my dad's best friend in spirit, and no one around here really knows him. So I was like, it'll just be constant coincidences like that lately. And so I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something, somehow, but I don't know what to do.
Well, for sure, I feel like the awareness that this is happening is the very first step, right? The very first step is something unusual is happening. I feel like I'm getting this information and I feel like I know these things and right. And so spirit is doing this really lightly, right? They're not pushing too hard on you. They're gonna let you take the lead in this. And where do you want to go with it? And my suspicion on this is that, you're gonna go far with it because it's going to be something and this is similar to my journey that will not leave you alone. And
I should tell.
that there will be a constant like hey, and to the point where you're going to be like, oh my goodness, okay, yes, so what do I do? And then that's exactly what happened to me. It's like, where do I go and what do I do and how do I learn? And my best advice
Right.
is to my best advice is to practice. And I know this sounds crazy, but you have to just do it. And everyone who's a medium works differently and uniquely, and you figure that out on your own. Now, I'm not saying don't take classes, don't have a mentor, or any of that. I do encourage those things. But what ends up becoming the most valuable and important part of this is your willingness and your actual doing it. So there are a lot of Facebook groups. And if you want to reach out to me after this call, go to the Psychic Mom Facebook page, and I would be happy to communicate with you through Messenger to give you more direct places to go. But there are lots of Facebook groups that you can get in where there are other people in varying stages of their own mediumship process that are willing to practice with you. There are lots of resources for books that you can read about it, and ways to connect. There's thoughts and there's opportunities to mentor with mediums that already do this. And yeah, I encourage you, and I just feel like it is going to be that for you, where even if you say, I probably don't really have the time for this. I don't think that I should be doing this, or it's going to be really challenging for my friends. There's so many things that are going to happen, but it's not going to let you go. It's just going to be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I guess my thing is there's so many scammers and stuff out there too. It's like it's so hard to figure out like who's, you know what I mean. So what I do is I just kind of go off my intuition, and so that's why I tune into a couple of different people because I feel like they're genuine, and I kind of go off that. But I'm just there's so many scammers out there.
Definitely use your intuition, and also talk to the universe and ask your guide, send me helpers, and you'll find that you'll come across books or names of people that will start randomly appearing in your whatever you're doing, and you're like, oh, okay, so yeah, I'm going to write this down. That happened to me. One of the very first signs that I got, I think it was I was like going through Facebook or something, and someone or Colette Baron Reed's stuff came up on my thing, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know who she is, and I don't know if she's any good or whatever. And I left the house and I went shopping, and on one of the billboards that I passed was the name Colette, and I was like, huh. That's odd. That's an odd name to begin with. And then to be on a billboard right after I just saw this, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should be looking at her. And she was my first introduction into oracle cards and working with spirit. And so it'll come together for you. I would say just open up your awareness and allow and ask for those things to come in and guide you to the right people. Yeah. This
Okay.
is going to be fun
Yeah,
for you.
Um, I, I worked with mental health and addiction, becoming, and I had it, it's crazy because I had a tragedy that kind of happened while I was doing that. But at the time, I didn't realize how much of I guess like an empath I was. So it's like I was absorbing everybody in the house's stuff, and I didn't know how to let it go. So it got to be so overwhelming. And then a tragedy happened, but it was after the tragedy is when everything kind of heightened a little bit. So
That's you.
So
Some catalyst, and you'll remember, you'll know that that's what it was, where you're like, yeah, it's interesting. But there's tons of stuff online, and I'd be more than happy to share some stuff with you. So send me a message, and we'll get that going, Marissa.
I appreciate that so much. It makes me feel a lot better because I kind of just will be over here, and my daughter's a little bit of the same way. But sometimes like I gotta get this so I can help her too, So, but I'm just trying the best I can. But like I said, I'll just get kind of like stuck, So I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, I'm happy to help, and good luck to you. And I'll be talking to you soon. All right, I'm going to let you go and take another caller. We've got Abigail in Texas. Are you there, Abigail?
Yes, I am.
How are you this evening?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for calling in. What can I help you with?
Yes, I'm concerned about my relationship with my boyfriend.
Okay.
We've been dating for 3 years, and it seems like, I don't know.
Okay.
At first, we were getting close together, and then now, things like we're drifting apart.
Okay.
We talked about marriage.
All right. Don't give me too much information. So can you just give me his first name?
Gene.
Okay. All right. So let me see what I pick up here for you. Hold on here. Let's see. Okay, Abigail. So let me know. Let me know if this resonates with you relative to his personality. Okay. So I feel like he lacks, this is interesting. I feel like he lacks a bit of ambition. I was just talking about ambition and how important it is to have goals and set those goals and meet those goals to, increase your self-worth and your value. And I feel like he lacks the ambitions. And because he lacks the ambitions, he hasn't had a lot of experiences to give him a lot of self-confidence and value himself as much as he should. And I feel like he's going into a place of being a little on the downside. I don't want to say depressed because it doesn't feel like depression yet, but like just feeling down on his luck, down on himself. Would you agree with what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. I also feel like he's had a good bit of loss in his life of loved ones. Can you agree with that as well?
Yes.
Okay. Grief, lack of self-confidence, not having the ambitions and the motivations to do things, all of that combined, it just can make life a struggle, right? I feel like when you guys got together, there was like a great burst of energy for him and a lot of happiness and a lot of joy. And I feel like he felt like this big turn. And unfortunately, he hasn't been able to sustain that because of the normal patterns that his life has brought him on thus far. So it's kind of just settled back into, okay, I'm not feeling so great about myself anymore. And I'm not, I don't have these ambitions and goals that I'm working towards so that I can feel good about myself. And then he starts thinking about his past and, the past struggles and things like that. So he's just dipping into a spot where he was um, prior to the two of you getting together. And that doesn't mean that, it has to stay this way. It doesn't. Let me see. Okay. And does he have a son from a previous marriage, or is there a younger boy that he would have had responsibility for?
Yes, he has a son.
Okay. Okay. Give me a moment. Let me look into this more. I feel like he's also feeling like he's not accomplished enough or done enough. And he doesn't want his son or his sons to look at him the same way that he looked at his father or the generations of men in his family. And he doesn't feel like he's done enough to get out of that box. And so that's also weighing him down a bit. So I guess what I want to say to you is that, this stuff is more about him than it is about you.
Mm.
And it's hard to recognize that for us because most men aren't very communicative about that. They don't want to talk about their story, want to talk about what's going on in their heads, especially because, well, in his mind, he doesn't think you can help with anything. And I say that with a little laugh because he just, yeah. He's a good guy. I would encourage you to, let me see what will work best for him. Hold on. Here, let's see. I'm going to say it's really just going to take some time. He really actually needs to figure this all out on his own. And I already can tell he's not going to want to, like I said, here have you helping him. That doesn't, that's a no. He needs to figure these emotions out on his own. And it's just going to take some time. And I feel like it's unfortunately not short time. It's going to take some, not super long, but you got to be willing to give him some time to work through this stuff on his own. And I feel like I'm hopeful that just by me sharing this with you and giving you this awareness of this, that you can choose to be patient and choose to say to yourself, okay, so this is why he's acting this way. I get it. And I'll let him be grumpy. I'll let him do what he has to do, because I can tell sometimes there's just a brush off, just and that can feel hurtful to us. But when we know where it's coming from, we can let it not be as hurtful. And, we don't need to take it as personally because it's not you. It's just that's where he's at right now. Right. So we can meet him halfway for a little bit, hopefully. I think it feels to me like there's enough there from the relationship that you will want to do that because it was good, right? It was good. And it can be good. It can be good again. And he just needs to get out of his funk a little bit and get out of his head. I also feel like there is worry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to tell you that I am younger. I'm 43 and he's 75.
Okay. That's okay. I mean, age is just a number. I do want to say I feel like he's worried. I feel like there's one son in particular that causes him some worry more than the others. I know you said there's more than one son, right? And it feels like this one son is just more of a rebel. I'm going to do things my own way. I don't want to listen to reason. And has had it hard. And this just causes him some worry, you know?
Mm.
Would you agree with what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that wears on him a bit too. But yeah, I want to just encourage you, try to keep those things in mind. Give it some time. I think he will come around from this. He just needs to work through it. It's just one of those things, you know, life goes in circles, right? It goes up, everything's going so great. And then we start to dip down and we're like, oh, and then it goes back up again, right? Things are circular. And if we can hold on and hold out when we feel like it's worth it, then usually it comes back up. And I mean, that's been my experience. I feel like this is going to be the experience for you if you hold on through this transitional, tougher time for him.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Can I pull you a card for inspiration?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to pull a card for you from my, let's see here. I'm going to grab my cards. Hold on. I love the animal oracle cards. Animals speak to me all the time, so I love to pull animal cards for people. Let's pull one for you real quick, just for some general inspiration and guidance on life and on this situation. Okay, hold on one second here. Let's see what we got for you. Vulture spirit. Oh, interesting. All right, let me see what this says. Nothing is wasted. All right, I'm going to read the little thing that the card says that comes with this. And let's see what she's saying. Oh, I opened right to it. It says, what seems hideous has its own beauty, and the recycling and repurposing the vulture does is as important as any other activity in nature that supports the cycle of life. Vulture Spirit's message is that nothing is to be wasted, for nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has the potential to be transmuted into something beneficial, and you are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone to waste. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience are talismans that will serve you on your journey wherever you go. What is decaying is only changing form and will fertilize seeds you wish to plant, turning that which has passed away into the substance that will support new growth. All that you might wish to deny or discard has value and can be repurposed and reintegrated into the new you that you are becoming and the new life that you are dreaming into being. So that's great. So this experience for you is not going to be wasteful. It has meaning, it has purpose, and I wish you all the luck in your relationship, Abigail, and thank you for calling in. And thank you everyone else for listening in tonight, and I hope you'll join me again next week for another Mother's Intuition. Have a great weekend.